In researching the history of IndyCar, you're likely to find some truly amazing drivers. On the other hand, you're also destined to find some pretty bad drivers as well. Regardless of what era you look at, you're gonna find them. In the later years of kart and then Champ Car, there are many drivers like this, and the topic of today's video has been considered by some as another textbook example of this. But I'm here to give this driver his fair dues because I think that distinction is just plain wrong. Today, we talk about Luiz Garcia Jr. Welcome back to All IndyCar, the motorsports history show looking at the most interesting stories in American open-wheel racing. Luiz Garcia Jr. was born in Brasilia, Brazil on May 4th, 1971. In terms of his early life and career, you're about to realize that there's pretty much nothing about the guy. So this is all I could piece together. He was a multi-time karting champion in his native Brazil, winning 3 national championships in 1986, 87, and 88. At the age of 14, he began racing in the Brazilian Formula 4 Championship, where in 1990 he finished second, and 1991 he won the championship with 3 wins across 8 races that season, besting another young Brazilian by the name of Tony Kanaan. After his success at home, Garcia then moved to Europe to compete in the British Formula Vauxhall Championship for the next 2 years. 1992 would see him finish 10th in the points, while 1993 was much better, seeing him win twice that year and eventually finish second in the points behind Dario Franchitti. He would then race in various F3 series where he'd only score a single podium, and then later Formula 2. The competition Luiz had to face in this series was interesting to say the least. It featured the likes of future kart racer Gonzalo Rodriguez, future Top Gear Stig Perry McCarthy, and future Red Bull F1 team principal Christian Horner. Luiz finished second in the standings this year behind Gareth Rees. So at this point, although not having won a championship since his Formula 4 days, Luiz Garcia Jr. was looking like a pretty decent driver and was probably on track for an International F3000 ride for 1997. Money wasn't really an issue as he had sponsorship from Petrobras Oil and many other companies. In 1997, however, he set his sights on Indy Lights. Competing for Dorcott Racing, you'd expect some growing pains for him, racing on some tracks he had never even visited before. Well, this is exactly what happened, as he would finish 13th in the standings with a best finish of 4th at Savannah. Throughout the whole year, he would only score points 6 times out of 13 races. He stayed out of trouble more often than not though, only retiring from 3 races the whole year. For his first time racing in the US, this certainly wasn't that bad. 1998 would pretty much be the same, minus Luiz Garcia scoring his only win in the Indy Lights series at Cleveland. Besides that and some other good results, it was really the same as last year, with him finishing 12th in the championship. After 2 okay seasons in the series, you'd expect him to return to the series in 1999 and try and fight for a championship. However, with his juicy sponsorship money, Luiz Garcia got snapped up by Dale Coyne Racing for the 1999 season. There's really no other way I can put this. Luiz Garcia Jr.'s rookie year in IndyCar was crap. The year started off with him getting caught in a lap 1 crash at Homestead, losing an engine at Motegi, and retiring at Long Beach. I'd tell you what happened exactly in Long Beach, but they never showed what happened on the broadcast. The rest of the year was better, but still wasn't great, with him retiring 2 more times and having a best finish of 14th at Cleveland. The same could be said about his full-time campaign with PPI Motorsports the next year, where out of 20 races, he only saw the checkered flag 8 times. His final 2 starts in IndyCar came at the beginning of 2001, where he retired both times and was pushed out of the sport when Dale Coyne Racing didn't show up the rest of the year. After that, his professional driving career was basically over. Out of 34 races he ever qualified for in his IndyCar career, he would only finish 13 times. He was never really a speedy driver and had his fair share of mistakes, but by no means was he a bad driver. Was he one of the worst drivers ever in IndyCar? Absolutely not, because he had some talent, but it's no question that he had one of the worst IndyCar careers of all time.